Hello everyone, this is your demo lesson global feedback from yesterday's task 1 general training letter, where it's focused on vocabulary and enhancing your word choice, making it more accurate, making it more appropriate in the words you choose. So let's begin. Here's our first one. We're just going to take a second, look at it, pause the video, see how you would make some suggestions. Okay, so the first thing is I would like to suggest, remember that, that co-location suggests that. So excuse me, suggest that you, we're going to remove this. You construct a swimming pool which can be enjoyed by almost all age groups. And we're going to make this plural. Okay, a tennis court. We're going to make that lowercase, and a football ground. Why don't we change this to pitch to make it a little bit more. That's what it is. Football pitch. You can say football field. For the residents. Okay, these facilities could help in keeping the young people engaged during their free time, and if it is possible, then an amusement park would be a great idea to entertain the public. Okay, we're not making the public. Okay. Yeah, this is very good. You're addressing the bullet points. I think the last part maybe, isn't necessary, but that's fine. Okay, so there you go. I made those suggestions. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, again, pause the video. Take a look at this. How would you improve this? Okay, so the first thing is, remember, we don't know who we're writing to, so we're going to say sir or madame. Again, that's just how we do it when you're writing to someone that you're not really sure who's the receiver of the message, because we don't know if it's a sir, we don't know if it's a madame. So let's just write sir/madame, and then we'll leave it. Again, the option, you put a comma there as an option. Okay, I'm writing to grab your attention towards a problem that the children in our town are facing. Okay, so I saw this in a couple of writing to grab your attention. Okay, so one thing you could have done, because this doesn't really, it's not working here. This is all about the word choice, so we're going to fix this. I'm writing to, let's just, inside this, suggest that you address a. Okay, so there you go. I've just used that structure for the purpose. I'm writing to suggest that you address a problem that the children in our town are facing. Okay, so there again, the reason I use that, that useful language is, this is what is expected, as an examiner is marking your work. They don't spend a lot of time marking your work. They're going through it quickly, and they're looking for these structures. The structures, you should memorize them, and you should use them. Again, you don't need to memorize all of them, but just know that, if you're writing a letter and you're writing to someone that you don't know who the audience is, you're going to be a little bit more formal, and this is a structure that you can use. So I am writing to suggest that. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Again, pause the video, take a second, make some notes. Okay, so we're kind of mixing some of these, but that's okay, so let's look at what I would do. I would like to suggest you to build a youth club. So this is kind of like the other one. The reason I've chosen this, I'll make a point with a few of them, is I would like to suggest, again, that you, we don't need this here, we're going to leave it as a bare infinitive. You build a youth club consisting of a range. Okay, so this is a range of, again, a collocation that you should use and memorize a range of classes, a range of sporting facilities, a range of food. It's a good way to quantify, that there's many or something. A range of sports facilities on the empty plot right beside the Amity University so that it is in close proximity to the students. Okay, so I think this one here, we're going to need to fix this, make it a little bit clearer, so that it is in close proximity to the students. So this referent, we need to figure out what is it referring back to. Is it referring back to the university, the plot, the sports facilities, or the youth club? Okay, so there's a few nouns before. Remember, it's these pronouns, these referents, as we call them, it needs to refer directly back to something. We need to see a clear connection when you use it, they, he, she, any of these pronoun referents, some of the possessive adjectives as well, his, her. We need to know exactly who, you're referring to, okay? So we're going to change it. We're going to make it very clear so that the club is in close proximity to the students. And I know many of you find this confusing. You don't want to have any repetition. I know a lot of your teachers in the past told you that. We do too as well. You got to find the balance of, you don't want to be repeating too many of the keywords. You want to use some synonyms, but then there's sometimes where, the pronouns won't work. It needs to have a very clear connection. Okay, so is in close proximity to the students. Okay, also make a separate section for yoga classes as it helps to improve concentration levels for teenagers. Let's be a little bit kind of uncertain as it's. Okay. So what I've done here is I've added a modal verb, and remember modal verbs are followed by the bare infinitive, and this way right now I'm not that certain that it's going to improve. Remember, this is a good way to write to kind of formally to show that you're not 100% certain something will have an effect. Okay, again, this is very good in academic writing. You can apply this when you're doing your master's and you're in university. Is modal verbs allow for a hedging language, meaning you're not 100% certain that it will this effect will occur. Okay. And again, it's just a higher level of writing. Okay, so try to use them in your writing. So again, I'm not going to be certain that yoga classes will improve concentration, but they can. And we're going to change this as they can, because we're talking about yoga classes, because there are many different types of yoga out there. So we're going to leave it as yoga classes as they. Again, talking about the reference, referring back to the classes. So we need the plural, can help to improve concentration levels for. And we're just going to say, keep it general, teenagers. Okay, because the teenagers, that means you're referring back to a specific group when you're just talking about in general. You've already mentioned here the students at the university. Okay, so let's move on to our next one. Okay, so this one, starting it here again with this modal, it's forming kind of a question. Okay. I see what you're trying to do is you're trying to be polite, you're asking a question, but let's just change it back to kind of the structure that we're looking at. I would like to suggest. Okay, so this is a little bit clearer now. I would like to suggest that the local authorities. Okay, so you are writing to the local authorities, so we could just use you. Okay, because you're writing to them, so you don't need to mention that again. And then, maybe we'll look at that again. So yeah, the local authorities, that might not be the best word as well. That you consider building a sports center near the university station where both local residents and young students could do exercise. We're going to change this to can do exercise, play sports, take part in group activities, and socialize and make new friends. Okay, so again, yeah, you made it a question, but we're just going to keep it as a recommendation. It would be a good idea to set up a social hub like this in the town. Okay, so again, what would this sentence do for the paragraph? I mean, you've already mentioned that. Okay, so maybe we could get rid of that. So yeah, the rest of it works. Okay, because you're addressing the bullet point. So well done, I just made that a little bit clearer. Okay. Okay, here's our next one. I think this will allow the economic growth of the town along with educational hub, the town will be renowned for its entertainment center as well. Okay, so pause the video. Think about how you could improve this, making it a little bit clearer. Okay, so what I'll do is I think this will allow the economic growth of the town. So we're gonna get rid of this because along with the educational hub, I don't really see how that's connected. So we want to talk about the economic growth of the town, the entertainment center, and it will be renowned for its entertainment center. We're just going to leave that off. Okay. So again, I'm just making it very clear and concise. We're talking about the economic growth of the town and will be renowned for its entertainment center. So okay, that was well done. This can lead to an increase in admissions at colleges, which will have a ripple effect on all other businesses maybe that support the colleges. Okay. So I see what you're doing here. That does work. We'll just say because you had two ideas here. You had the education and the entertainment center. So maybe we should mention something about that. Because you mentioned the educational, that wasn't very clear, but now you're talking about the entertainment center, but then you just talk about increasing admissions to colleges, which will have a ripple effect on all of the businesses that support the colleges. Okay, so, maybe you mentioned something about, whoever this is, maybe mention something about how the entertainment center will attract more people, as, people and, tourist visitors, as well as university students. So you had a couple ideas going there. We shorted it to one, but now what you need to do is explain, the benefits of the entertainment center and how it's connected to the growth. Okay, but we're gonna leave that there. Okay, let's look at this next one here. I would like to suggest that there is an unused piece of land near the post office, which could be utilized for building a sports center. Okay, so what we do is I'd like to suggest that use the unused piece of land near the post office. We're going to make this lowercase. That's what it is. Which could be, I would like to suggest use the unused piece of land near the post office, which could be utilized for building a sports center, if it is at all possible for the authorities. Okay, so again, we don't really need that there. That doesn't really do anything because again, you're writing. The audience are the authorities. Okay, so you don't need to mention them because you're writing to them. They're reading it. Okay, so you can say use something along those lines. Also, just beside the land, there is an old government-owned building which can be knocked down and rebuilt for this purpose. Okay, so again, back to the reference. What is this purpose? Okay, that's what I need to know. As somebody marks essays, I want to know what are you referring to because you've already talked about an unused piece of land. Okay, great. But then besides this land, there's an old government building which could be knocked down and rebuilt for this purpose. So are you offering like a second option is what I'm wondering is like, you have the unused piece of land or there's also an old government building that could be knocked down and rebuilt for the purpose. Okay, so there's a couple things going on here. And again, this, we're not sure also, so like I said, you're referring to the sports center here for this purpose. So then why are we suggesting this old government building be knocked down? Because there's already an unused piece of land. Okay, so again, leave your comments if this is yours about what your intent was. Okay, we're gonna move on. So let's take a second look at this one. Pause the video. Okay, so this one we're gonna need to change something. So I'm writing to your kind attention. I'm writing to ask, kind attention. Writing. Let me see how we can do this. I'm writing to give advice about we're gonna rearrange this opportunities about opportunities for students and their free time. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna delete that. So I'm writing to give advice about opportunities for students and how they can spend. We're gonna make a little bit spend their free time. Okay, so this is a very strong collocation. Spend their free time. Spend your free time. How I spend my free time. Okay, as you know, Ramna City. So I'm thinking again. Correct me if I'm wrong. This comes up a lot. And, I always correct students. We don't need unless it's like New York City, which the city is part of the name. You don't need to add city, you don't need to add state, you don't need to add province, you don't need to add country. I get this a lot when I do the Zoom sessions as well. Students want to add this, but we don't need it. You just say, as you know, Ramna, but please correct me if I'm wrong, if it is called Ramna City, it is the most popular part in your town. Okay. So again, maybe I'm not sure what you mean is the most popular part in your town. I thought it was, like, is Ramna City, again, I'm thinking Ramna is a city, so it is the most popular part in your country, maybe? Again, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just going with my understanding. So again, remember with writing, there can't be any questions, an examiner wouldn't have time to kind of, think about what your intent is. What I'm doing now, I'm talking you through this. It needs to be very, very clear, very concise. Okay, there is one. There's one university, and we're going to fix this. So again, the punctuation needs to be on the word space. There's one university, 2 colleges, and 2 schools are situated in this area. It's a sad truth that there is no place where students can spend their free time. Okay, that works. We're going to make it that way. It is a sad truth that there is no place where students can spend their free time. Okay, so this one needed a lot of corrections for the clarity, and there's some punctuation errors. I think that works right there. Okay, so here's our another one, excuse me. So let's take a look at it, pause the video. Okay, so here's our next one again. Let's take a look at it. So because of the lack of amusement places. So again, this is about word choice. So this one, again, it's not really a collocation. It doesn't go together. Amusement parks, amusement places won't work. So we can just change it to recreational facility. Again, that was good enough as far as paraphrasing. This is what leisure facilities. So we're going to say recreational facilities because remember, it needs to be exact. Okay. There's lack of recreational facilities in the area. Most adolescents are encountering many problems. Okay, so because of this, most adolescents are encountering many problems. Okay, young people are compelled to utilize their free time in front of computers and television screens. Are compelled, again, we're going to say, or maybe forced. I think that's a little bit better than compelled. They're forced to utilize their free time in front of computers and television screens because of this sedentary lifestyle. Most of the young, let's say most teenagers are suffering from obesity related problems. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Okay, you're definitely showing a sedentary lifestyle Okay, so there we go. That works. Okay, we have a few more left. Let's take a look. I'm writing to bring to your attention that there are no entertainment facilities in the town for the young people, and I feel some good options should be there for their amusement. Okay, so this isn't too bad. This is very clear, concise. Let's see if we can improve it. I'm writing to bring to your attention that there are no entertainment facilities. Okay, so that works. Again, that's better than amusement facilities. Entertainment facilities, recreational facilities. These are kind of weaker collocations, but they do work in, let's say, in our town. For the young people, we're just gonna refer generally to young people, for young people, and I feel some good options should be there for their amusement. Okay, so yeah, you're introducing it, so that works. Okay, so that one is fine. Okay, so let's look at this one here. In the future, these spare time facilities will help generate revenue for the city council and promote healthy living among the locals, especially the youth. I hope you would take my suggestions into consideration. Okay, so in the future, these again, let's try to make it a little. Let's go back to because you're already using recreational facilities. Facilities will help generate revenue for the city. We don't need to say council because that's a group of people. We're just going to say it for the city and promote healthy living among the locals, especially the youth. Okay, so that works. I hope you would take, I hope this changes. I hope you will take my suggestions into consideration. Okay, so yeah, that's good. Well done. Okay, a few more here. It is crucial to know that these facilities will enable young people to release stress after exhausting weekdays and motivate them to practice physical activities. Okay, so again, back to that practice activity is crucial. This isn't, it's not really crucial. So let's change the wording if we can. It's important. That's more suitable, not as intense. It is important to know that these facilities will enable young people to release stress. Okay, so let's maybe change this to relieve stress. That's a better verb, relieve stress after exhausting weekdays and to motivate them to practice physical activities to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Additionally, it will encourage tourists to stay a longer period of time in the town, stay for a longer period of time in the town. Okay, so we made some improvements and that works. Okay. Not only students will benefit from a central place like this, it also is an opportunity for everyone who wants to settle down here and opens a new business. Okay, let's change. Not only will students benefit from a central place like this, it is also an opportunity for everyone who wants to settle down here and open a new business. Okay, so there's just some structure issues there. Again, we just put the verb here in front of the noun here, and then we added this after the verb. Okay, before the noun. Okay, just a little bit more clarity. Okay, other than that, that's clear and concise. Okay, here's our last one. So there are many problems arise because many youngsters play cricket on the street in the evening. Okay, so let's break this down in sentences. So there are many problems that arise are arising. How do we want to say this? There are many problems from. Let's just make it. There are many problems from teenagers who are playing cricket. So again, I've changed the structure and making it, simpler, very clear, concise for the reader. There are many problems from teenagers. I'm going to change this because of teenagers. Because of teenagers playing cricket in the street, or say in the street, in the evening. Okay, sometimes their balls damage glasses of the windows. We'll just say windows because windows are glass windows, and it can, back to my mode, it can become noisy. Not only this, it is dangerous too for playing on the roads, as there is highly possible for accidents. Okay, so not only this, it is dangerous for them to play in the roads, in the streets. I'm just gonna keep that the same, in the streets, as it's of accidents. Okay, so there we go. I've changed that. Okay, so this is a long video. Thanks for staying with me. I hope you guys learned something. Again, the purpose of this is to, choose your words correctly. Sometimes synonyms aren't really synonyms. There's varying degrees. So again, choose your words correctly. Most of you were on task as far as the bullet points, addressing that. But there's no major issues really with that. That wasn't the focus of this activity. It's about enhancing your vocabulary and your word choice, making it more appropriate. And as you can see, we made it quite simple. Clarity is king, as Chris always says, and that is very true. An examiner, is marking these very quickly, and what they need is clarity. They can't stop and think about what is the message you're trying to say, and there should be no doubt. Okay, so again, it's all about improving your clarity, your word choice, which will improve your clarity and your message and your tone. Okay, thanks for participating. Leave any comments below. Bye-bye.